Hello everybody, I am Alpacapatrol, and this is Dota 2. That's right, I'm back with another cast of Dota 2. Let's turn off the directed camera, which is a little bit more zoomed out. I don't know what the deal is with that. But yeah, I feel like doing a cast. We're having Team LG Int versus TSC, evidently. And we're gonna get right into the captain's mode, which is gonna be pretty cool. I think, anyway. So yeah, we have Team Todos Somos Cacahuetes.
Radiant team
That's my best Spanish accent. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And then we're also against Last Game International, which would make it seem like perhaps they're actually a sponsored team, considering they have the international moniker, I suppose. Because generally that's reserved for a team that has a sponsor but has an A team, and this is the B team. So I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe we're watching part of a tournament. I don't really know. We just went through the team game searches. So yeah, it looks like the first ban was Elder Titan, which also means Last Gaming International is going to have the first pick. Which, I'd be very interested to see what they pick first if they think Elder Titan is worthy of banning out. He's a very strong hero right now in the metagame, certainly. He's very powerful when coupled up with anything that can do a lot of magic damage, and just really anything that doesn't like going up against a solo lane that can do as much goddamn damage as Elder Titan can, because he's pretty crazy on the damage front. In fact, a lot of people say that he should be nerfed. I don't think that's necessarily, the thing. A lot of people are crying nerf for a lot of heroes right now, and we'll see how it shakes out after a while. We'll see what the nerfs are. As far as Todos Somos Cacahuetes, they decided to ban Bristleback first. Now, Bristleback is another hero that's actually very strong in the metagame right now. I think it's a very powerful hero. And in fact, a lot of players consider Bristleback a hero that's a little bit too strong. Simply because, very much like Earth Spirit, who's not in Captain's mode right now, but very much like Earth Spirit, if he is going on certain heroes, there's just nothing that you can do about it. And, I don't know, that kind of rubs people the wrong way. I think he's a very strong hero. Worthy of a ban? I don't really know. It looks like they're banning really tanky heroes, because generally when you see a Dragon Knight, he generally loses the middle lane. Or, not necessarily loses, but at least doesn't win the middle lane anyway. Because he has to farm with Fire Breath, and not to mention he's a melee hero, so you're always at a disadvantage as a melee hero in mid, unless you're going up against another melee, and even certain melees you're not doing that well for yourself anyway. So Dragon Knight is just very strong late game. He can, and also early game I suppose as a pusher as well. So, but, very tanky. And as is Bristleback. Bristleback is sort of known as the tanky hero. One of the tankiest heroes in Dota, for sure. And, yeah, he's a good hero in general. But it looks like Last Gaming International opts to go for the Outworld Devourer first. The Outhouse Decorator. The Orbital Destructicator. This hero has had his name changed like 4 or 5 times. And that's like since I've played Dota, which hasn't been that long. And, Viper is a very good counter. Well, not counter necessarily, but at least counter in mid. He can do a good job in mid against Outworld Devourer, is basically what I'm trying to say. OD, generally known as the hero that wins middle lane. He pretty much always wins middle lane. And it looks like Last Gaming International is going to ban out the Venomancer. With Venomancer and Viper, that's pretty much all you need, especially with the Mirana if he hits an arrow, to get that first blood on OD. And TSC bans Magnus? I don't understand that thinking there. I mean, unless they assume that OD is going to go in a lane that isn't mid. Which I can't really see. I mean, you can run an OD in the off lane, but it's not really optimal. And by that same token, you can run a Magnus in the off lane as well, but it's, again, not very optimal. You kind of want to make him go mid. He's a decent off laner, but the thing is, Magnus is so reliant on a Blink Dagger that he kind of needs the farm. So putting him in an off lane is not necessarily the best place. OD, in a similar manner, kind of reliant on farm. His ultimate, Sanity's Eclipse, has to do with how much intelligence Outworld has compared to the other heroes being hit by it. It's a modifier based on the intelligence threshold, as you can see here. So he needs farm as well to get that intelligence, a lot of items that give him a lot of intelligence really early. So generally you should go mid. Now we have a Doom. They also banned out the Gyrocopter. That's a reasonable ban. Again, I don't understand the Magnus really. And it looks like LGI, which is a really weird acronym for a team, opts to go for the Nyx Assassin. You know what I'm actually going to do real quick here? Excuse me. It looks like the game volume is maybe a bit low, so let me... Where's the... Oh, I'm sorry, I hit video. I meant audio. Okay. Let's bring her up a little bit. Yeah, let's go right here. I think that's pretty good. Oh, unfortunately, it looks like I was clipping my mic there. Maybe I should back up from it a little bit. And, anyway, it looks like we got a Crystal Maiden. Oh, maybe that's a little bit too high. God, I'm fiddling with settings. This is like the worst thing that you should do. I don't know why that's a threshold. Let's go ahead and just make it in the middle. That seems pretty good. And it looks like they pick up the Slark. Now, Slark is a hero that was just added to Captain's Mode in the last patch. And he is a very strong hero right now. Again, another one of those heroes that people are crying, oh, he should probably be nerfed, because his ultimate, the recent change in 6.79 at least, was that Shadow Dance no longer is counterable by any form of True Sight. So how it used to work is you plop a Sentry Ward down, or you buy an 850 gold, or I'm sorry, I think it's 900 gold now. They always freaking nerf the Gem of True Sight every patch. But you just buy a Gem of True Sight, all of a sudden this hero's ultimate is useless. So they changed it. It can only do the duration of 4 seconds, but he is untargetable when he uses it. He is completely untargetable. He can be hit by AoE abilities, like, say, Crystal Maiden. She's got her Crystal Nova that can hit. But actually, they don't really have much AoE aside from that. You have a little bit of damage from the Scorched Earth, but, you know, we'll see. So, Doom could jungle. He could be the farming lane carry, though. And they ban out the Undying. That is an interesting choice, certainly. Because, I mean, it would kind of make sense in this lineup a bit. I don't know, it feels like this team is just very afraid of tanky heroes, it seems.
10 seconds.
They don't want any tankiness. I guess they seem to be operating around this Doom.
Remaining.
Because, I mean, you first pick the Mirana so that you get the Moonlight Shadow so Doom can come up and doom somebody. And the Viper, and the Crystal Maiden. I don't know, it seems very, very situated around this Doom, so if I had to guess, I'd say that they're probably putting the Doom in the safe lane as a carry. He can jungle. He's not the best jungler, but he can jungle. The thing is, when you get a Crystal Maiden, kind of the two things that are good about the Crystal Maiden is she's really good for kill potential early, so that's fantastic. Because she has, at level 1, she has a, what is this, a 30% slow, which is fantastic. It's not quite as good as a Venomous Gale from Venomancer, but still very, very powerful. And with Frostbite, she can farm the jungle pretty well. So you have to wonder whether or not this Doom is going to be their safe lane carry, or it's going to be their farmer in the jungle. It would stop the Crystal Maiden from jungling, which is sort of one of the main reasons, or not one of the main reasons, but at least one of the reasons that she's picked up so much now in 6.79. And it looks like LGI is looking for their last ban, and they ban out the Pugna. That is a reasonable ban. Because with the Pugna, they could have had a good safe lane farmer who would also be able to push down towers, which is really scary against their team. I mean, LGI, they're about team fight. They are all about team fight. And it looks like they opt to go for the Timbersaw, and LGI responds immediately with a Clinks. Which, you know, interesting. A lot of interesting stuff. The lanes are a little bit weird. If I had to guess, I'd say Viper is the mid. Doom, I guess, is in the jungle, and Mirana is going to be the safe lane carry. Meanwhile, LGI, OD's probably going to be the mid lane core. Clinks, I guess, in the off lane. He could be the safe lane farmer, I suppose, and put Slark in the off lane, which is probably better in all likelihood. So yeah, they'll probably put the Clinks in the safe lane farm. The problem is, the Nyx and the Rubik are going to have to rely heavily on that rotation. They're going to have to rotate a lot and try to... Whoa! The Nyx and the Rubik do immediately pick up smokes.
For battle.
Those are their two options. And they're going to immediately smoke here and try to get the first blood, they're probably going to walk right into the Radiant jungle. So, or I'm sorry, the Dire jungle. So let's introduce the players. We have OD, who's being played by, who is this? Who's this hero? Who's this guy? Mental is going to be playing the Outworld Devourer. Slicedo is going to be on the Nyx Assassin. Galanti is going to be playing the Slark. And Tawara Bunshichi shall be the Clinks with Watagata Pitatua Taberi is going to be on the Rubik. And we're getting pretty close. I'm not going to be able to introduce the players. It looks like they're going to go on this Crystal Maiden. Are they going to be able to get it? The Astral Imprisonment goes out first. There goes the Nyx Stun, which is definitely going to hit. And yeah, this is going to be First Blood. Slark attempts to pounce, but it doesn't really matter. And a First Blood on a Slark. Okay, Slark. Slark really wants to tell us about those things that he's doing. Anyway, First Blood on a Slark, very, very important. Slark is a snowball hero. If he starts off the game, especially with that First Blood gold, I mean, he's starting out with 430 gold. That is going to be fantastic for him. He is really going to be excited about that. In fact, you know what? Gonna lower the volume a bit. I'm sorry about this, but yeah, we're gonna lower the volume back to more optimal levels, perhaps. Because it's really loud in my ear. I'm sorry that I've been fiddling with these audio options this whole time. But anyway, let's introduce the Dire team. So the hero that got first blooded, Stanek, is going to be playing the Crystal Maiden. Timbersaw is going to be in the safe lane, being played by Lucral, and he's got some support from this Crystal Maiden, who I guess is going to be pulling and jungling. Sting is going to be on the Viper. I assume that's the singer. That would be my guess. I'm pretty sure they got the stinger sing. Yes, the stinger sing. You know, I messed up the first word. I figured might as well go all in. And Marana is going to be off lane, being played by Sailorst. So that's going to be interesting. And Doom, of course, is going to be anyway with a heart, and I guess that's a Starburst or something, in the jungle. Luckily for him, he actually did... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Never mind. I thought that was Chain Lightning. But Harpies, actually, which are available. He could get the Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning is very powerful jungling early. However, it does cost 50 mana, which would be a little bit tough for the Doom to deal with. He doesn't have a huge mana pool. But, yeah, he's going to be jungling here for a while. Really strange lanes. Oh, and it looks like the Slark is going to go on the Timbersaw, but I don't think he's really going to have the ability to do that. He does have Essence Shift, but he's not going to be stealing enough points away from the enemy heroes. And yeah, as I said, so you have the Rubik and the Nyx. See, this is the problem. The tri-lane meta isn't really around anymore, so this Rubik and this Nyx are going to have a real hard time. Looks like Slark is trying to get some XP by sitting back here where these creeps are jungling. Oh man, the Doom got real low. What did he get so low from? I guess from that stacked easy camp, and he's going to take a lot of damage from that poison. It looks like Nyx and Rubik, yeah, are going to be rotating here into the middle lane. And, oh, this Viper might go down to this Outworld Devourer. Oh my god, yeah, this Viper is, oh, giving this Outworld Devourer a tough time. It looks like they show themselves past the tower, but the Viper might be able to get this kill on his own. He is diving for it. I mean, he's got nothing else going for him besides that. Oh, and the OD is sticking around. I don't know about that one. He gave up his own life. He could have run away. And now this Viper might actually get a kill on a Rubik. Yeah, the Rubik is going to go down, and the Nyx Assassin is going to have to run away. But the Slark comes in to pounce. He misses the pounce, but it doesn't really matter because he's still going to get a kill. That is a triple kill for Sting on the Viper, and it looks like he may even live. The pounce is coming off cooldown in 4 seconds, 3 seconds. They're not going to be able to dive the tower. Sting destroyed that middle lane engagement. A series of mistakes from the Radiant team gave a triple kill to that Viper, and now this Dire team is not worrying so much about this lack of first blood gold. Slark is rotating around. I guess he's trying to look for this Crystal Maiden. I really don't know what he's doing. In the offlane, you really want to get the levels up as quickly as possible, and this Timbersaw is getting free levels, free farm. He actually managed to miss that last hit, but it's not a big deal. Taking a look at the last hits denies, it looks like Clinks is ahead. And Clink's a very strong hero right now. It looks like Marana has to leap away So, you know, that's a thing. But Toara Bunshichi, he's having a great time. Look at this. He's got 1,400 gold sitting in the bank. We'll see what he opts to go for. They did nerf the... Uh-oh. Looks like Timbersaw and Slark, getting a little heated. Just kissing a little bit. Just touching tips. Crystal Maiden fucking with this Nyx Assassin a bit. Looks like the Slark did pounce, and Doom is coming around behind. He does have a Frost attack, which is going to be a slow, and let's see if they're going to be able to take down this Slark. Slark is a slippery hero. I don't think that rotation is going to be very valuable, especially since this Doom appears to be going for... Uh-oh, yeah, the Viper is pushing that OD out of the lane, but nothing is really going to come of it. But the Doom appears to be rushing the Hand of Midas. Now, Hand of Midas was nerfed. Oh, looks like Slark is taking a lot of damage here from this Timbersaw. Is it going to be enough? Timbersaw does have a Timber Chain, but he's not going to have the right angle for it. And that was a good work by that Slark. Able to move out and get out of there. And he should be just fine. Now, it looks like Crystal Maiden is waiting to see if they could get a kill on this Outworld Devourer. It's going to be tough, but it's possible. And this Rubik and this Nyx, you know, they're both sitting at level 2. And this is sort of the problem. The tri-lane meta doesn't really exist in Dota anymore. These guys, basically what they're doing is just either sapping XP from this Clinks, or they're just doing nothing. Oh, and it looks like the Viper is going on this Outworld Devourer. He's not going to be able to do anything about it, though. And the OD is really harassing this OD out of lane. See, that is sort of the problem with picking the OD at first pick. I really disagree with the choice, to be honest with you, because Our Devourer is a really strong hero, but he's really strong in response to other mids, because generally speaking, he wins the middle lane. But when you pick him first, the enemy team responds with a... Oh, it looks like a TP is coming in here to this middle lane. It looks like the Nyx is trying to go on the stun, and he misses, which is kind of not something that you really need to do here. Oh, looks like this might be turned around, and this OD should be dead. Oh, but the Insanity Eclipse, or the Sanity Eclipse, I don't really know what it's called. Looks like it's dropped, the hammer's dropped, and it don't do nothing, because that OD does not have that much in intelligence. He does have a Null Talisman, but that's not really going to be crazy. However, while all this is happening, Clinks is just free farming, and what did he opt to go for? It looks like he opted to immediately go for the Quarter, or the Oblivion Staff. He is going to be rushing past the boots, and this Slark is still roaming around the jungle with 900 gold. He's only got 13 CS, which against a solo lane Timbersaw... I don't really know what he's doing, but it looks like he might be able to pick up a kill here with this DD rune on either the Crystal Maiden or the Viper. But it's a really dangerous thing. It looks like he's stalking out this Doom, but oh, little does he know the Doom is right around the corner. You'd much prefer to take this Doom than go dive that tower. And he should be able to hear something over here. He might have an inkling. Oh, and he might be able to pounce right on this Doom. If he gets it, he has to get in a little bit closer range. And he should be able to get this pounce off. There he goes. And that Doom should be dead for sure. Yeah, it looks like he screwed up just a little bit, but it's fine. Crystal Maiden's coming in, and Slark is going to have his ulti, his Shadow Rift, or whatever it's called, Shadow Dance. And it looks like he is actually going to try to go on this Crystal Maiden. Yeah, that is going to be punished heavily. That's a very poor decision by that Slark. He should have just used his ulti to leave, but it looks like the Nyx and the Rubik are coming in, but these heroes are just too low level. They have nothing going for them. I think this Rubik should be dead as soon as he comes out. Yeah, that Crystal Maiden manages to get him. And it looks like the Outworld Devourer is probably going to die too. The Mirana comes in as well, and she doesn't actually manage to hit the arrow. She probably could have just got it with the Starfall. And Nyx is going to manage to get away. But that was a very poor decision on that Slark, but it turned into a lot of dead heroes on this Radiant side. And we take a look at the gold graph. Yeah, it's already 1,000 behind. But the bright side in all of this Clinks is going to be able to rush out this Orchid as quickly as possible. It looks like he actually did opt to buy out the power treads fully and skip a little bit on the Orchid, but he is going for the Orchid, and he will have that out at a pretty good timing. So that should be pretty good. Timbersaw is going to have some harass for this Slark, and give his life give him a hard time basically in this lane. This OD is not feeling good, however. He is 0-3 up against this Viper. Viper counters him just so hard. It's just... The thing about the Viper is he
Dire's
does so
bottom
much damage
tower
from his
is under
orbs, and he
attack.
does so much damage from his other poison,
Radiant's top
that he doesn't even
tower
really
is
need the
under
mana.
attack.
See, I mean, Viper's only sitting at 100 mana, but it doesn't really matter. It looks like the OD does opt to pick up the Illusion Rune up in the top tower. It looks like Slark is again stalking for this Doom in the jungle, and he is missing out. He's only level 7, which, I mean, I suppose is fine. By the way, the thing about the Nyx missing the stun... Oh, it looks like
Radiant's
Slark
top
comes in and
tower
misses
is under
another
attack.
pounce, but the Nyx assassin comes in on the other side. The mana burn is not going to do anything because the Viper is at full health, or full mana, but it doesn't matter. The Sanity Eclipse drops. What is it called? Sanity's Eclipse. Drops. I know it as the Hammer, basically. Hammer drops, kills off that Viper, which is actually going to be a good amount of gold if I'd have to guess here. Where is... Oh, it looks like the Clinks actually took out the Crystal Maiden down here, and I totally missed it.
Dire's structures are
Because I'm
fortified.
dumb. But it's okay. It
Radiant's
looks like
top
Timbersaw
tower is
is
under
going to be
attack.
pushing this lane. Slark is having a real tough time now.
Dire's
And
bottom
yeah, the
tower
Timbersaw
is
is
under
a
attack.
full level ahead of this Slark, because Slark has just left the lane just to go walk around and fuck with this Doom in the jungle. It doesn't really need to be messed with. And it looks like he almost has enough gold for his Midas. It was nerfed, so it doesn't cost 1,400 gold anymore. Or, I'm sorry, the
Dire's
recipe
middle
doesn't cost
tower
1,400
is
gold
under
anymore. It costs a
attack.
little bit more. And it looks like Clinks is messing around with this Viper. Looks like they're finally coming over here to mess with the Clinks' farm, which is smart, because really, letting the Clinks free farm is not something that you want to do. Clinks is thinking about strafing, yeah, and he is going to be able to take out that Mirana for sure, and that is a free kill for him. He has 2 kills, and this Clinks can certainly snowball in a similar way that this Slark can. However, the Slark is again just walking into the jungle, giving up his farm, and leaving.
Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
And it looks like the Clinks, yeah, was able to get the deny out on the bottom Dire Tower, which is going to be great for him. He could just go sit in the jungle. It looks like Slark is getting doomed here in the jungle. That is something that happens if you keep pouncing, trying to go after this Doom. Doesn't really matter to him, though, because level 1 Doom is not going to do anything at full HP. And it looks like he is trying to go after this Doom some more. What are you even looking for, Slark? There's nobody here.
Dire's
Doom
middle
left.
tower is under attack.
Alright, it looks like they're going to go for... Ooh, the arrow almost walked into by that OD.
Radiant's top tower
And
is
it
under attack.
looks like the pounce is being set up if he can just hit it, but he has to hit it. Oh, he is diving a little bit too far, but he should be fine. He does have Shadow Dance if he really needs it, which I think he's might need
Radiant's
it.
top
No, he's not
tower
going to
has
waste it right
fallen.
now. It does have a considerable cooldown now. I mean, that's 65 seconds. And the stun
Radiant's
actually
top
does
tower
manage
is
to hit
under
that
attack.
time, and the pounce isn't going to go down. The Shadow's butthole, Shadow Dance, is going to come out from the Slark, which is going to give him a hard time to escape here. Ooh, the Viper is not going to get enough. He didn't manage to get off his Viper Strike, which probably would have killed the Slark if he managed to get it off. But indeed he didn't. And that is just going to be a 1-for-0 trade going in favor of that Radiant team, which is fine. And this Clinks is farming out of his mind. He's got 86 CS. He is just farming freely. He's got his Orchid
Radiant's
at
middle
12
tower
minutes.
is under
With
attack.
Power Treads, that's a pretty quick Orchid. That is a pretty darn fast Orchid. He has had basically free farm, and he's going to be able to destroy people. Now, he's not going to be doing that much against, like, a Viper. Oh, and there goes the stun. The stun does come out, and Astral Imprisonment was good enough. Hammer is dropped. It doesn't do enough to kill. He actually managed to get the Viper Strike off on the OD. Timbersaw Timber Chains up to the high ground, and it looks like Mirana is going to leap
Dire's
out.
bottom
Where is
tower
the
is
Timbersaw?
under
Timbersaw's
attack.
right there. It looks like Slark is looking to be a bit aggressive, but he is not going to do anything about it. And Dire team just hovering around mid, trying to find another pick-off, but really they should just go and leave and farm, which is, I think, what they're going to do. Looks like Slark is coming up here into the top lane, and Clinks looks he's looking for a kill, and he might be able to get it on this Mirana. No, he's going to go into the jungle, and he's going to have a hard time. He would have had support with the Nyx. It looks like he is going to go for the Doom. The Doom does not have a Doom available for him, yeah, and the Clinks is just going to go down. I don't know why he would go for the 3 heroes when he could have gone for the 1 hero, the Mirana here, especially with the
top
Nyx
tower
Assassin
is under
right there
attack.
with Vendetta and his Impale ready to go. And is Nyx going to get into position? No, he's not going to get into position. Looks like, yeah, they're just forcing them out a little bit as 6 heroes hovering around middle lane. This is really not very good. And looks like Slark is having a little bit of trouble here. He does have his ulti if need be, and it looks like he is going to have to pop it, which is fine for the Timbersaw. I think the Timbersaw did his job. He forced Slark to use his ultimate, which is great. He's pretty close on his Bloodstone too. He's not particularly far away. He's got 1,500 gold, which should be able to get him his either the point booster or the vitality booster. It looks like Clinks is looking to go after this Timbersaw, which I don't know if he's going to be able to do. He will manage to get off this Orchid, and it looks like he's not going to chase past the tower. Meanwhile, Nyx looking for ganks here on this middle lane, and then Nyx has to be so low level. Yeah, he's only level 6. And yeah, the Slark is still only level 8. I'd have to guess the experience graph, yeah, 3,000 in favor of this Dire team. They are not doing good enough. Oh, there's the Doom out on the OD. It looks like the Mirana arrow does manage to land on the Rubik, and yeah, that Moonlight Shadow was good enough. Oh, it looks like the Viper is going on that Nyx Assassin, and Nyx Assassin Carapace Armor stops him, but he still dies. Timbersaw actually comes in, and he is gonna get the kill on the Rubik. Clinks appears to be running through the jungle, and they have dusted him, so they have vision of him, but he is just still really fast with that skeleton block. Looks like Slark is going to pounce in, and he actually is probably going to get that kill on the Crystal Maiden, but he's going to pay for it with his life, and that is just not a good trade. I don't know why you would do that. I'm sorry, like, I don't mean to flame or anything, but looks like the Clinks is going to go in on 3 heroes, and yeah, he gets a kill, and I guess that's going to be fine. Yeah, Astral Imprisont's going to be here, but the Timbersaw has no mana, so he's going to have a tough time. It looks like, oh, just one more, no miss. Yes, no miss, and another hit orb is going to be enough. The Timbersaw is going to go down as well, and in the end, I think that worked out pretty well for the Radiant team, despite all that. I mean, the Slark did kind of throw away his life for just the Crystal Maiden, which, you know, is not really the most valuable thing in the world, but hey, you know, what can you do? 2,000 gold lead in favor of that Dire team, but, you know, they're pulling it back. They managed to get a... Oh, they didn't get a tower out of that. They really could have. They could have just went through. There's no backdoor on Tier 1 towers, but that's fine. You know, they don't really need to do that. Slark is going to be finally farming. He's almost got enough money for a drum, so he is not going to be kicking in anytime soon. He's going to have a drum by like 18 minutes, and he is in no danger of snowballing. And this Clinks is manning up. It looks like he's going to go on that Crystal Maiden, but he's not going to be able to do it. The dust does go out on the Clinks. The Nyx comes in with his ultimate, and he is going to... Oh, but the mech... That early mech from that Crystal Maiden, looks like Viper is going to go down. The Mirana arrow does manage to hit on the Nyx Assassin, and the Viper lives. Mirana and Doom are chasing out after this Doom, or the Rubik, and it's not going to be enough yet. Okay, he does manage to go down. Doom goes off on the OD, who does have a mechanism as well. And this Doom is going to be in a very dangerous position. It looks like he is opting to go for the... Shadow Blade. And it looks like he should be able to just get out just fine. Oh no, the Clinks is coming around! And he is just in a really bad place. He's just going to be running, but luckily their dust is most likely on cooldown, if I had to guess. Who's got the dust? Oh no, the dust is off cooldown. But, yeah, Doom's just going to walk back into the jungle. He does have a stomp, which, I don't know, maybe he's just not gotten lucky. Yeah, he's not getting lucky in this jungle right now. He does need that Crit Wolf as soon as possible. Doom, in case you didn't know, has this ability that is Devour, and he consumes the ability of a creep. I mean, War Stomp's still a good ability. I mean, it is a stun. However, you really do want that Crit Wolf at some point. It's basically a free Crystallis, which would be very good. And it looks like they are looking for a kill on this Clinks, who is gonna strafe and try to take this tower, and he's gonna not be able to do it. The Timbersaw needs to pull his Timber thing back. He didn't actually manage to do it in time. He could have killed him easier if he just pulled his Chakram back. But, no big deal. Looks like Timber does have his Bloodstone with 9 charges already. And these items on the Dire team are going to be tough for the Radiant to deal with. It looks like nothing is going to happen. Oh, this Rubik is a little bit out of position. The stun does manage to go down on the Viper, which is probably going to stop the aggression if I had to guess. Yeah, indeed. That does appear to be the case. Slark, in the meantime, in a kind of a bad place, but I think he'll be okay. Slark is a great hero, great escape hero. I mean, Pounce really lets you get out very easily, as does Shadow Dance. I mean, Shadow Dance may be the best escape in the game at this point, just because nobody can target you. And it looks like Viper is going to maybe, yeah, it looks like Rubik's going to give up his life. Nyx is looking for something, and I don't know about it. It looks like the Doom on the OD is not going to kill him, and I don't know what he was doing sticking around here. Yeah, he's just going to easily go down. Clinks might be able to get a kill here. Looks like the Rubik is going to die again. And Viper's going to do some damage here, and it looks like this little engagement is just going to be a 2-for-0 trade right now in favor of the Dire team. And the gold lead has to be even farther in the Dire's favor. Yeah, that's probably over almost 5,000 gold. That is a Bloodstone with 10 charges at 20 minutes. Before 20 minutes, the Doom has his Hand of Midas, his Hand of Money. He's just screaming about the money, 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 money. Yeah, it looks like he's probably just going to use it on the... there it goes. He manages to take down the little mud golem. And the finished up Shadow Blade is going to come out to the Doom. I'm not super into Shadow Blade on Doom so much. It kind of puts you back a little bit. He's not really going to be ganking either. He's really going to be with 5 heroes. So the Shadow Blade, not necessarily the best choice. It does let him escape. And it does let him initiate with Doom, but the thing is, you don't really particularly want to initiate with Doom. You'd prefer to initiate with either the Marana Arrow or the Timber Saw. But, you know, what can you do? It's still a pretty good item. Oh, it looks like Slark is going to pounce in, but he does immediately get arrowed. Luckily, he used his ability. Astral is going to stop the damage on that Doom from him, and it looks like, oh god, the hammer gets dropped, but it does just no damage. Doom manages to go down, and so does the Slark, however. Doom is out on the Timber Saw because the Rubik managed to steal it like a pro, and the Marana Arrow is going to hit on that Slark. He could have easily dodged it, and the TP out from the Rubik is going to keep him alive. It looks like the Slark is really looking for this kill. He might be able to do it. He doesn't have Strafe for another 8 seconds, and the Invis was not able to be stopped. If he actually managed to have Strafe off cooldown, that probably was a dead Viper, but without Strafe, he wouldn't have been able to do it. In fact, he might have even died. What does this Viper have right now? He's got a mechanism. He's got a mechanism. Oh, I thought the Crystal Maiden had a mechanism. I'm a dummy. Yeah, it looks like the Viper did opt to go for the mechanism. And he's going for a BKB right now, which isn't a bad choice. A lot of players like to go for the Aghanims now on the Viper, but poor Viper. He walked all the way up to that top lane, and Timbersaw just comes in, kills it all in like a second. He's not having a fun time. Well, he probably is. He's almost done with his BKB. It's gonna be pretty strong. I probably would have preferred... where is this? Oh, Clinks is using Strafe to fight the Ancients, which is gonna be dangerous. Yeah, Viper Strike does manage to go down on the Outworld Devourer. And it looks like Doom is trying to come in, initiate with his Doom. Problem is, you really don't want to do that so much. The problem with initiating with Doom is Doom usually isn't enough damage to kill a hero, unless you're going for an Aghanims. It looks like the Doom is probably going for an Assault Cuirass. If I had to guess, he would be. It's not unheard of for Doom to get a Shivas either. I mean, Doom does have very low armor. I mean, look at that. He's level 12. He's got 1 base armor. 1. Actually, in Dota 1, he at one point had negative armor. He had -2 armor, I believe, in Dota 1, so he took extra damage. But he just is a hero with very low armor. He does have a lot of speed. It looks like Slark is, trying to run away from his Doom. He does manage to pounce, and I don't know if the Doom is going to be fast enough to catch up with him. He'd have to use Scorched Earth. And, oh yeah, Slark is going to go... yeah, he's going to get away. He does force the Shadow Dance out on the Slark. The Slark has nothing. He's got a Drums, he's got Power Treads, and a Magic Wand. He is poor as hell, and I have to imagine that's partly because he just spent most of his time running around the jungle not doing anything. He's just running around the jungle looking for Doom. He killed him once, but, you know, took a DD to do it, and he really didn't gain too much from it. With the first blood, you'd think a Slark would be able to snowball pretty easily, but yeah, not so much here. Crystal Maiden, Doom, stalking the jungle a little bit, trying to look for heroes. Looks like something just got delivered to the Crystal Maiden. Probably those sentry wards. Oh, and this Rubik's in a bad place. Clinks is not going to get detected by the sentry ward. Sentry ward no longer gives vision inherently. Oh, and the Clinks is going to be able to see them going invis, and he's still going to engage on the Viper for some reason. Doom does go right through BKB. I don't know if he knew that, but Doom goes right through BKB. There's nothing tastier for a Doom than to see someone just go for a BKB. Don't matter to him. And that Clinks is going to go down. I'd have to say there's not much this Radiant team can do anymore. The Clinks did manage to get his items pretty early. He's got a BKB now, which is great and all. But really, the Doom's going to come out on you. You should know that. So BKB, not the worst item choice, certainly, but also maybe not the best. You know, you do have a lot of magic damage from Starfall, Crystal Maiden, Ulti, and Timbersaw. But you know, perhaps he should go more damage. I don't know. We'll see. He's still opting to try to go for the ganking idea, running around by himself. Slark, in the meantime, is actually pushing the tier 2, does decide to go back because they are going to lose racks if he's not around. Clinks is going to come up in 1 second, so I don't know if they're going to be able to take this racks, actually. Yeah, it looks like the Clinks is actually going to use his ability. Oh, yeah, Shadow Dance is going to be enough to almost kill the Crystal Maiden. Hammer is dropped, and it does a lot of damage. And the disjointed searing arrow from the Mirana leap. It looks like Astral Imprisonment, they're going to leave Viper to die. Yeah, Viper's just going to go down. They allowed Viper to die. Yeah, they did try to push high ground. I don't think that they were in the position to really push the high ground. There's still a tier 2 tower here in this top lane. They could have just backed off and got that. Or, you know, honestly, with these 2 towers here gone, tier 2 here. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't draw here. But the tier 2 tower here, tier 2 tower there, all the way over there. Look at where this tier 2 tower is. Actually, there's like a bunch of tier 2 towers. There's a tier 2 tower here, and then here, and then here. And that's where you have the tier 2 towers. Anyway, what I'm saying is these 2 right here are the most important for getting this Roshan. You can just walk into the Rosh, which they probably should have backed off and done, because both these lanes were pushed out. They didn't really have to try to push high ground. They did manage to take out the tier 3, but they should have known the Slark was coming back, especially since he had a TP on him, so not necessarily the best decision, but it's fine. They're very far ahead right now. They are, yeah, well over 7,500 gold ahead, almost 10,000 gold ahead, and that's kind of the magic number. That's what a lot of people say, oh, you know, there's no way to come back from 10,000 gold deficit. That's kind of totally wrong, because you absolutely can. You can come back from a 15,000 gold deficit. When you get a little bit higher than that, it's more difficult, but obviously 10,000 gold. The reason that 10,000 gold's kind of the magic number, that's 2 big items. Oh, and it looks like the Slark is invis here. He does have invis rune. Looks like he's going to maybe try to go on this Mirana. The Mirana arrow doesn't actually manage to land, and it looks like, yeah, the Mirana's going to take a lot of damage. She does use Moonlight Shadow, and the fade time is going to be just long enough that he's not actually going to be able to do it. Astral Imprisonment up on the Viper. The Doom is coming in behind, and he does a lot of damage with 1 shot to that Rubik, and the Doom is going to get blown up. But the Crystal Maiden Freezing Field is doing so much damage. The Outworld Devourer, the Outhouse Decorator, Astral Imprisons, but he's nearly dead. The drum is being popped, but that doesn't give you phase, so you can't walk through the creeps. But, oh man, is this OD gonna live? No, there's no chance. No chance for that OD to live. And that is a 3-for-2 trade. The Doom not opting to use his Doom. A little bit of an interesting choice. You know, I feel like I'm backpedaling here, since I said that, oh, you don't really want to initiate with the Doom, but in that particular engagement, you probably wanted to initiate with the Doom. Oh, and it looks like BKB up on this Clinks. He's going to try to take out this Viper, but he doesn't have the amount of damage that he needs because of that BKB. And really, what is he stopping from the Viper by doing that? He's typing Viper Strike, which, oh, the Mirana arrow does actually manage to land on the Clinks, and it looks like this Clinks is going to get, yeah. Clinks is gonna get cleaned up here, and Nyx he's walking in. He was walking in like, hey, I'll help you guys. Oh no, I am not gonna help you guys. Actually, you guys can just go ahead and fuck yourselves. The issue there is I think they got a little bit too aggressive. Now, I hope this Marana and this Timbersaw don't get too aggressive on their own. Yeah, it looks like he's going to have an actual imprisonment. They're going to look for a stun, which should be easy to land. Yeah, he does manage to land it, but that Timbersaw is so strong. The arrow does manage to hit on that Nyx assassin, and that is going to allow the Timbersaw to get away. Again, a little bit too greedy. No reason to be pushing that lane up there when basically all their heroes are alive except for the two. They can just go for this Roche. It's pretty much free. There are no heroes. Oh, boy. But the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane for the Dire team is getting pushed by a creep wave. That is a lot of ranged creeps. They will do a lot of piercing damage, but they're all dead, so no big deal. But, yeah, with this creep lane pushed out, they could just go for this free Roshan. I mean, they could have done this a while ago. I honestly don't know why they didn't go for it. I mean, they've tried to go for a suicide push up here on this bottom racks. They almost tried to go for a suicide push here in this middle lane. If you want a suicide push, just take Roche. Look, he's sitting right there. They have no towers to TP to, so that's basically... That's why I said that these two towers are very valuable. More valuable than this tier 2 tower, and even more valuable than this tier 1 tower. Because with those towers, they can TP in and try to get to the Roche very quickly. Without that, and the middle lane and the bottom lane pushed out, there would be they wouldn't have a very easy time trying to get to that and defending the Roche. For some reason, I can't control the camera. There we go, okay. For some reason, the map wouldn't work. I wasn't able to do anything there. And it looks like the Dire team and the Radiant team, they've signed an armistice. There's a treaty going on. They say, you know what, we're not going to fight for a while. We've been fighting for 29 minutes. I've seen some shit, man. I've seen my teammates die and come back to life and die again. I don't want it anymore. Let's at least have a short break. Doom's walking around just farming. It's tough to say which team is benefited more by farming. Okay, looks like they finally are deciding to go for this Roshan. They could have done this a while ago, but they do opt to finally go for it. Looks like the Timbersaw did pick up the Shiva's Guard, which means that there's an AC up on that Doom, which means he's going to be doing a lot of quick damage, and he does manage to get the Crit Wolf at some point. Does no one know who's going to take the Aegis? They give it to the Viper. It's interesting. I honestly would have given it to the Doom, to be totally honest with you. I'm going to say honest a lot. And this Clinks is sitting here on this top lane. You know, they don't know that Clinks is here, and now they do. And this Clinks should be able to take this tower super easily. Yeah, that strafe is going to make that tower melt as a free tower for that Clinks. But it looks like there's going to be a Doom push here on the bottom lane. Moonlight Shadow's trying to catch people out, but it was used a bit preemptively. I don't know why they wasted that. They could have easily just used it to walk up high ground. I mean, they didn't know that the Sentry Ward was here, but... that's obviously expecting perfect knowledge. Yeah, it looks like there's going to be a fight here. They really need to TP back. They should have TP back a lot sooner. What is this Clinks and Slark doing? They're going to give up a free Rax for nothing, for a tier 2. They got the glyph here, but they should have been back way earlier with a 5-man Doom push. Yeah, that is a free melee Rax. I don't know what that Clinks and Slark were doing. Yeah, free Rax. Doom is going to go out on the Outworld Devourer. It is not going to be enough to kill him, most likely. And yeah, there goes the Nyx Assassin and the Rubik. The Clinks is going to pop his BKB, but, you know, that's really going to do fuck all. And, yeah, looks like they're just going to push the middle racks because they can. I mean, what's Clinks going to do to stop them from doing that? OD is back out. This is, again, sort of the reason I say you probably shouldn't initiate with the Doom, which is kind of what he did. Oh, the hammer gets dropped, but it is not enough to kill the Marana. Slark is trying to come out and do something, but it doesn't matter. What is he going to do? He has no farm. And Marana Arrow does actually manage to go down on the Clinks as well. He does buy back, as does the Slark. They are trying to defend these tier... oh, man, yeah, the middle racks is going to go down, and I'm pretty sure there's nothing that they can really do. Honestly, with this game being over, I have to say there's been some strange decision-making from the Radiant team, certainly, in the laning phase. I'm not really sure what they were thinking. Viper goes down. The draft wasn't particularly fantastic either. I mean, going for an Outworld Devourer first is not the best idea, just because it gets countered so easily. With the Viper or, you know, even a Razor. And they didn't even think, if they were thinking, hey, we're going to pick up the OD first, Like, we want this
Radiant's
OD
middle tower
first.
has fallen.
They probably should have banned out the Razor and the Viper.
Radiant's middle
But,
tower is under
yeah,
attack.
looks like there's a GG. The throne's gonna go
Radiant's
down.
middle
There's not
tower
much that
has
this
fallen.
team can do. There's nothing at all that this team can do, actually. That tower's just gonna go down.
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
I think even in the end, the decision-making was just
victory.
not there. The Slark and the Clinks were pushing that middle lane, firstly, very slowly, and secondly, for almost no reason. I don't know why. Are you going to get a tier 2 tower? Big whoop. They are doom pushing down on the bottom lane, and they knew they were there. They were pushing. They killed 2 creep waves down there. So, I don't know. I'm not saying that that they would have won had they not been in middle lane, but I will say that the game perhaps could have been elongated another 10-15 minutes. But I suppose, you know, that doesn't really matter that much. They were very far behind at the end there. So, also, I have no mouse cursor, which is kind of shitty. I don't know where it went. Where is the close button? We're going to have a hard time doing that. Oh, we just passed it. Where we got it. There we go. Close. Boom. Got my mouse cursor back. Thank goodness. Anyway, that's been a Dota 2 cast, solo cast by me. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Yeah. Hopefully you liked it. I don't know about the decision-making for some of those heroes. I apologize if I sounded very flamey. I don't mean to be. But, really strange decisions by a couple of those heroes that I don't know. The draft, again, wasn't particularly good. The Clinks going a little bit too hard in the paint, trying to take heroes out when he totally couldn't have. Honestly, he should have just kept farming, and he probably shouldn't have even... I mean, I wouldn't say that BKB was the wrong choice. BKB was a fine choice. I think that's okay. Personally, were I him, I would have went for more damage, get that early Chrysalis, get that Daedalus out. I mean, even if you go for just the Chrysalis, the crit chance is good enough with the Searing Arrows to do a bunch of damage. You could have went the Chrysalis first before the BKB. Because, I mean, I don't know what he was really stopping with the BKB. He does stop the Frostbite, which is fine, but he really shouldn't be worried about the Crystal Maiden. So, anyway, that's fine. As a game, you know, it was a game of Dota. Game of Dota. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Maybe I'll do more in the future. I think this is one that I'm going to put up on the channel, which doesn't mean anything to you, because I've recorded a couple of Dota casts outside of putting them up on the channel, and, you know, I never put them up. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and maybe we'll do more in the future. People have been saying that I should do more, or they said that I should do more back when I did them like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I wanted to, just hadn't had the chance. So, yeah, there's a cast for you. Hopefully you liked it. I really hope you did. And thanks for watching. Because this is Alpacapatrol signing out. Peace, fools.